Good evening, my name is Garrett, and welcome to The Last Call. Tonight's final drink is from the House of Glunts. This is Sneaky Peat Blended Malt Scotch Whisky, coming in at a 43% ABV, no age statement. So for full disclosure, I did reach out to them for a review sample. They were kind enough to send this over for us to take a look at, so just keeping that transparency going. So the House of Glunts has been around since 1888, and the majority of what they do is wine and spirit importing and selling it here in the United States, based out of Chicago. And doing a bit of research, essentially what they've done here is they've got a blended malt scotch that is going to bring in a subtle peat, hence the name. And I just love that label on the front too. That's honestly, and this sounds ridiculous, the label is what caught my eye. It's simplistic with a little bit of character to it. I do like that. But being a person that loves smoky peaty scotch, as you can tell, it's always hard for me to find a good stepping stone up into Ardbeg, Lafroy, Lagavulin, the smoky peaty section. You know, Highland Park 12 is always a good example of a lightly peated option, and there's a few others out there, but I always love experimenting with these kind of ideas. So let's get into it. As always, we're going to be trying it two different ways. First way, neat, no ice, no water. Second way, we'll add a drop of water, see what changes up. And as always, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, hang around for a bit. And if you're interested in picking yourself up a bottle, I'm going to put their link down below. You can try to find it in your area, and hopefully you can get yourself one ordered. And I think they also do some online ordering depending on where you're at in your locations. And I'll also put a few blended peated scotches up above and down below. I'm hoping the main thing that always comes to my head is something like in the Johnny Walker lineup of being a kind of a lighter peated option. So we'll see here. Again, I love the bottle. I love the little squirrel on the front here, a little Sneaky Peat. Beautiful color to it. Nice light golden. A little darkness going on there too. Yeah. All right. Well, let's go for notes. Ooh, yeah. Crisp. Fruity. Orchard. Yeah, I'm trying to dig it down here. You do get a bit of the maltiness on here and that kind of funky, malty, almost like a monkey shoulder, kind of that mustiness going on, but it's not bad. It's opening up really well. Very green apple. It's going a little more green apple for me now. Beautiful oak note in there. A little bit of a spice layer. Maybe a little bit of pear as well. It honestly reminds me of a monkey shoulder. I know they make a smoky monkey shoulder, but I've never seen that around here in the States. But that earthiness mixed in there with that kind of a apple skins is playing really well. All right, let's go for taste. Ooh. Ooh. I like that. Ooh, that's good. Yeah. Okay, that is reminding me of something. Is that it tastes either like a smokier compass box, like one of the artist blend, or the other one, the glass globe blend. It kind of reminds me of that, but smokier, but maybe closer to like a Johnny Walker Green Label. That is nice. So definitely, it's got a nice light smokiness to it. That earthiness is there. Get that kind of liveliness of a fruit layer too. Again, I get more like a green apple pear note, very orchard-like. I like that. That is really good. It's simple, but it's effective. And again, being that it's a blended malt, it's got a lot of characters going on here. You get that nice smoky, earthy layer, sweetness, very much like a natural honey layer. Like you took a big dollop of natural honey, and it's got that bit of, again, I'm going to go more like the skins of green apples or the skin of pears kind of idea. So it's got a little bit of an earthy, but it's got that little bit of fruit sweetness with it as well. It's not heavy-handed in that peatiness, which I do appreciate because that's what they're aiming for. It almost kind of reminds me maybe like a Talisker, but not as smoky. Take Talisker and cut it in half on its smoky level. I like this a lot, actually. A little bit of oak going on here in my third sip. Not really any ashiness or any off notes, nothing metallic. It is simple, but yet it brings across the namesake. It's a sneaky peat. On the nose, you couldn't really tell that this had any kind of peat going on here with a flavoring. Again, if anything, it had a little bit of an earthiness, but no smoky, earthy peatiness going on. But that nice, subtle layer in there is welcomed. It breaks it up a bit. Again, it either reminds me of one of the budget Compass Box bottles or more like a Johnny Walker Green Label. That's good. I like that. Or again, I haven't had it, but I would assume this would be on a similar playing field as like a smoky monkey shoulder. All right. Let's add a little bit of water. See what changes up here. As always, normally when we add water to a smoky scotch, it tends to make it go very sweet. Since this is a Highland, I'm expecting sweetness to come across still, but I'm very curious what's going to happen. Even here in the finish, it's very simple, and yet it invites you to take another sip because of that bit of sweetness come across as well. I like that a lot. Alrighty, let's go for notes. Goes more simple, which is expected. Still get a bit of fruitiness in there. It goes slightly damp earth note on there, but it's still very friendly, very inviting. You get a bit of the honey on the nose, but it's not heavy-handed in that either. That nose is getting a little bit more complex now. And this is one reason why I love doing ABs, because sometimes you can pull out other notes in the neat version. Definitely you're getting a lot more honey on the neat version now. More of that rich, dark honey. But here, that subtle spice is still showing up. I love that it actually makes that mustiness of the blended malt kind of pull back a little bit, which, depending on if you're into that kind of thing, may or may not interest you. But let's go for taste. Actually, that's not bad either. It definitely kills out any of that smoky element. Goes sweet. The dark honey is still there. The spice layer is kind of showing through. But the earthy, peaty smokiness that I was getting in the neat version is washed away. Definitely that dark honey is showing up. Bit of oak. I'm getting definitely more oak on the water version, I think. Man, the maltiness. I'm starting to really dig the maltiness on this. I'm not huge into malted scotch, and again, I'm more into Isla territories and not as much into Highlands. You don't see as many Highlands here in the United States. As always, it doesn't matter what you drink or how you drink it, as long as you enjoy it. If you're getting into scotch and you're wanting to get into peatiness, and this is still too brash for you, that little drop of water in here can really make it go a long way. All right, let's talk about market price, because we all know market price is market price, and it's always going to vary. So, looking on their website and a few places around it, usually priced at about $49.99 to about $53. I don't think that's a bad price. Again, when you're trying to get into smoky scotches, your big boys, your Ardbeg, your Lagavulins, your Lafroids are all usually in my market price between $56 to $65, $70, depending on which bottle I'm hunting for. The Lafroy tends to be on the higher scale there. Now, to be honest, Sneaky Pete's a good example of getting into smoky scotches. If you're afraid that you're not going to like it, and you're like, Garrett, I've had some, it's not really for me, but I still want to try to get into it, this is a good example. It's simple, it's effective, and the flavors it brings across are solid. If you like monkey shoulder and you want to smoke your monkey shoulder, this is really good. And if you're wanting to step in there without getting as much of an Isla peat into it, it's a good example too. I wouldn't pay $70, $80 for this or anything crazy like that, but I think $50-ish is where it needs to live. It's good, solid, and exactly what it's aiming to be, it brings across. And again, if you are interested in picking yourself up a bottle, their links will be down in the description area below, and go show them some love. But yeah, there you have it, folks. House of Glunt's Sneaky Peat Blended Malt Scotch Whiskey. If you have any questions about the bottle itself, let me know down in the comment section below. I will do my best to answer it. And if you have any specific spirit I should go looking for, also let me know down below. Love doing these reviews and helping you make a decision when you're out shopping next time. And as always, may your last drink of the night be the best one.